Hello, guys. Welcome to Crypto OGs episode 6. I have an amazing guest today. Thank you so much for everybody waiting here today. We have about 2,000 people waiting right now in Binance Live to speak to us. Welcome to everybody that's connecting from everywhere around the globe.
Join a company
that you are the person that
show good sell, yeah?
Bring in good energy.
So, welcome to Crypto OGs.
And I have my very good friend on stage waiting for me, Mr. Evan Luthra. Evan, how are you, my friend?
Good to connect with you, man. I'm doing great. Thank you. Everything is wonderful.
Where are you right now?
I am right now in India at Casa NFT at my place here for a couple or so days and then heading to Bali. What about you? Where are you calling in from?
I'm in the UK right now and I'm heading to Dubai on Monday.
Nice. Anything important?
Yeah, we'll have about 20 crypto events in the space of 10 days.
Always, every day. I'm waiting for Ripple's birthday for Senior.com launch. So on the 14th.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay.
Think about coming if you like. Not as much exciting as Dubai events, but still be a good time.
I will. So Evan, thank you so much for being here. So welcome to you. If you don't know Evan, you need to congratulate him because you have been this journey as an entrepreneur for Web3 for a long time. If you don't know anything about Evan, let me introduce you very quick. He's a leading blockchain expert of 2022 by US Today. And Evan has been building and investing in fast-growing technology products since he was only 13 years old. And he built more than 13 apps, and he sold his first company when he was 70 years old. Most recently, he was honored to be in the list of Forbes 30 under 30. Evan, thank you so much for being here. But let's start with the main question. Who is Evan Luthra?
Thank you for having me, Andres. It's a pleasure to be here today. Before we start, I wanted to invite my community because I realized that I forgot to post about this interview. It would be nice to get them live. So I could just send them the link you send me, right?
So you can send them the link I send you, or also, let me see if it's transmitting now on Twitter. You can just retweet. If you retweet, because we're live in Twitter as well.
Hey guys, I'm here with Andres going live right now talking about the crypto OG journey. Come join us and join the live right now. Hey guys, I'm here with Andres going live right now. What's the link? I should say it. Do you have a link for the live? Like the one you send me, but that's for
the same one that I sent you, yeah. So where Evan is inviting his community, you want to read a couple of the Binance Live. We have 1,000 people actually right now. People around the globe. There's a lot of people in Binance Live from Pakistan, from India, from Colombia, Venezuela, Europe as well.
1 second, guys. I'm almost done here.
So this is your second time in Binance Live, correct?
Yes, I did one with Daria, the crypto story already. That did really well.
Amazing. So Binance Live is growing really fast. I'm very, very excited to be here.
What is Binance Live? Maybe you want to tell me, because I thought it was just Daria as one girl.
So
doing it. Now it's good to see you here.
So Binance Live is a platform to create content about. It's obviously it's live all the time, but you can create content and talk about NFT, gamify, DeFi, Web3, trading. So I think so. There are less than 1,000 streamers right now. You have to ask to Binance, for being a streamer. Just imagine there's 100 million of users in Binance right now. So you will get the best of the audience, the community, and it's a space to share knowledge and invite people. That's what I'm doing. So I have two shows. I have the Crypto G's. I'm inviting people like you, been many years in the industry. But I also have the Crypto Quiz that I do every day, where I ask questions to people about Web3 based on the tweet I put every day. And a little bit of gamification. So Binance Live is a platform to educate people, to get entertained as well, and to build community and to meet with other Binanceans.
Nice. Amazing. I like it, man. Happy to add value where I can. And I love Binance. I've been using it for a long time, and I think it's a great platform. Back to your show. So you question was,
Who is Evan Luthra?
I am Evan Luthra. I'm a serial entrepreneur, angel investor. Been investing in companies for a long time. I started when I was. How detailed do you want me to go? You want me to go in the backstory, or just
Yeah,
give you?
just do the whole story because there
Okay,
are many
yes.
people that need to know your story here.
Yeah, so I started. I started when I was 12, 13 years old. I was one of the first few people to build apps for the iPhone. How I got started building apps for the iPhone was my dad had a call center here. He's an entrepreneur himself, and he started this call center. But in 3 months, he got scammed by the CEO put in place, so they shut it down. But so I was this 12-year-old kid, and I was going to this office every day with him during my summer break, and I was playing with all these computers that were sitting there. So I started blogging about these computers, about curating technology news that got me interested in tech, and my blog became the most read blog on LinkedIn's blogging platform Pulse. So I had 250,000 readers reading my blog. I guess people liked reading about this young kid who had all these computers, and also I was creating pretty good tech news early on. So that's when Apple announced that they were coming out with the App Store, and I wanted to build an app for my blog, and that's how I originally learned how to build apps and got around to building apps the first app I built was an app for my blog. But I really liked doing this, so I basically gave up the blog and started just focusing on apps. Built about a few apps. Built the first app for where I live, as a society. Built the first app for the school I was going to. Built the app for Delhi Metro. Built the app for Dubai Metro. Built an app for
Wow.
IC Cricket World Cup. A bunch of different apps had millions of downloads. I was watching TV shows at that time, How I Met Your Mother, etc. I built apps for them, TV shows, big communities like Gossip Girl. I built forum apps, and I didn't have to market any of that. They all just got millions of downloads by themselves, and I had apps that were doing really well. I didn't really capitalize on this until I was doing all for free, right? I was not really making any money.
Wow.
ICC actually sued me because I used their logo without their permission to make an app for the IC Cricket World Cup in 2011. But I just said, I'm sorry, I'm a kid, and here's the app. You can keep it. And I just transferred the app over to them. So let me go. But I never really made any money until 17 when I launched this social tech platform, Study Social. And what I was able to do was I was able to use all my existing users on the app and advertise to them about my new platform. And I was able to get a lot of users pretty fast. And so a big education tech company from India came in and acquired the product within a couple of months of launch. So from that, I made my first couple million and then started investing that back into technology. The first investment I made at the year of my exit was actually Ease.com, which is Uber for marijuana. After I sold my company, I got invited to give a lot of speeches. I spoke for Google, G Talks. I spoke for Nielsen. I gave my first TED Talk at 17 at one of the top universities here in India. I gave a lot of different talks, and I already had this small following, right? And I was basically like, I had this money. I just made a couple million, and I would start basically traveling the world, doing what I want. And I was in San Francisco at that time, and I invested in this company, Ease, Uber for Weed. And this blew up to become the fastest growing company in the US in 2016. What 100x. This was my first angel investment, really. So I think weed just grew so fast, right? So I was like, oh, this shit is really good. I should just keep investing. And that's what really pushed me into investing. So even before I really did my first real crypto investment was I came into Bitcoin in 2014. Also, while I was same year as I came into Ease. Also, while I was actually in San Francisco, because Coinbase was giving $5 to refer people, $5 in Bitcoin. So I already had a few 100,000 followers then. I said, okay, let me just capitalize on that. And I refer a lot of people to Coinbase. And that basically gave me also, and everybody who actually earned that $5 at that time was worth over $500 at all-time high. So it was like basically that just showed you the potential of growth that Bitcoin has, right? The exponential growth it has seen. I didn't really get involved deeply in the blockchain space. I just did this activity and I left it kind of. I wish I'd bought more Bitcoin. But in 2016, what I really kept on doing was I was still traveling. I spoke a lot of events worldwide, TV shows, had basically grew my following quite significantly, and still kept investing in a lot of startups. I was doing mostly tech investments, equity deals. But in 2016, my own companies that I was helping incubate, while I was investing, a lot of the companies came to me with just an idea. So I basically set up an incubator, startup studio, where I work with non-tech entrepreneurs, the right idea and the right entrepreneur. We work and help them give them whatever they need help with, like marketing, outside of cash, tech development, etc. So the combined market of the companies that we have built and invested in is $100 billion, tens of millions of users across 24 countries. So it's done really well. And my focus was tech, using technology to disrupt existing industries. Not so much as the blockchain space still, but still pretty heavily in the tech space. And then in 2016, my blockchain space started growing, and my own companies came to me and said, "Hey, can you help us with the blockchain?" So that's when I really looked into the space more deeply, and holy shit, this makes a lot of sense, right? There's finally a way to distribute power and to decentralize governance. You finally have a way that you can. It's opened up so much potential. It's finally a way to give power back to the people, and that was really exciting for me. That hey, this is pretty good, and I think there's a future here. So that led to another thing, and I was like, got very involved in the space, made a few investments over the next couple of years. Was an early equity investor in companies like Hera Hashgraph at a 10 million valuation. It's a $1 billion valuation today. I bought equity in Ripple, did about another 25, 30 token investments. Was early in Ecomi, Reef Collectibles, one of the largest growing NFT projects. There were 150x, right? So I made all these investments. And by 2018, I was already traveling a lot and putting a lot of focus on the Web3 space, right? Speaking at a lot of blockchain events. I traveled to over 50, 60 blockchain events in 2018, helping companies, speaking about the space, and investing a lot. But 2019, 2020, I really picked it up. And 2021, last year, I invested in 300 private sales just last year, right? Advised 20 projects, pre-listing to listing, did multiple 100 exits with hundreds of millions in volume on day one. And yeah, still keep traveling to all these events, speaking at all these events. So it's been a great time. And all this while I still do what I like. I don't do anything I don't want. My priorities are always freedom and being able to do what I want. So I still had that and still been able to do this. And crypto gives me that freedom. So that's a little bit of a story how we reached where we are today.
Ivan, that's amazing. So that's what it made you a real crypto OG. So, but let's go back a little bit, because people see you. You are 27 right now, correct? You're 27 as today. So basically, you've been more than half of your life grinding, working hard. It's been 14 years. People see the highs, but they don't see the lows. A part of everything that you describe, all your success, people have described you, and I believe myself as well, that you're a visionary. And you say something that people love, that the best form of predict the future is building it. What does that look like? Like, do you have a time machine? Why people call you a visionary guy? What do you think about this?
For me, I'm always been about big ideas, right? I've always believed nothing is impossible. The word impossible itself says I'm possible, right? So I've always been this idea about big ideas and being involved with hundreds of companies, investing in hundreds of companies, talking to tens of thousands of companies. I've had build this muscle to basically be able to think about how ideas can connect together and grow together, right? So when I invest in a company today, I always think which of my other companies can assist them, right? Which of them can work together to help grow companies. I think that's what really comes down to being a visionary, is like having this vision and this ability to see this bigger picture and look many years ahead than you would do. I always play long-term games. So anything I do, it's always been about having this long-term mindset that, hey, what can we do in 10 years? Most people underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in 2 years. So it's pretty important to know. So I think being a visionary is basically having this ability and being able to find that opportunities that other people may overlook.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, let's talk a bit also about your upbringing. So you are from India, I'm from Colombia, and obviously we came from probably very traditional families. They want us to go and be engineers, doctors, you name it, computer engineers, whatever. But how was, obviously your dad was a big role on your life, and you just mentioned before, like you were working alongside him when you were 13. But tell us about your upbringing. What did people thought about you when you were 13? You didn't go to like all of this path of school, university, normal corporate job. What your family think in India or in Colombia? Like, we're no doctors or engineers. How was the upbringing?
So definitely I had a lot of support early on. I had the opportunity to do what I want. I never had parents which forced me to go in one direction, right? I was winning a lot of awards pretty early. I was the president of my high school at 16. I didn't go to university, but I did go to high school. I had international baccalaureate program that allowed me to go to school when I want, and I didn't have to be there every day at time pick and choose my course. So I had these opportunities, and I'm grateful for that, right? I'm grateful to my parents to be able to give me this support early on. Like, even though I didn't go follow their journey, I didn't make everybody in my family, my uncles, my aunts, my cousins, all into fashion, right? My parents, I didn't get into that. I went into tech early on, but I had the support. I had access to the computers I needed. I had access to the internet I needed to learn from the internet, and then I had the support that let me do what I want and gave me that freedom early on. And I think that's what allowed me to be here today. And I am always grateful to my parents for that. And that's why I always say, like, my parents are 100% responsible for the success I've had today, right? I could also be born only a few kilometers away from my house. There's the slums, right? So, and I wouldn't have that support. I had that ability because to think big, you need to have your basic necessities taken care of. So I had that basic necessities taken care of, and that gave me the time and the opportunity to focus on it. Nobody forced me to become a doctor or an engineer. So that is interesting because my father studied engineering, but he became a fashion designer. So he already knew that he wasted all his time. He didn't want me to waste that time. So he didn't push me in any direction because he was pushed to being into an engineer. Within a couple of years, he changed into fashion as soon as he graduated. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's something I like personally about you, that you are a family guy, that you care about your family and about your parents. You're always traveling with them. That's amazing. Evan, but okay, and because I have so many of my friends, they probably being privileged, probably in Colombia, in Colombia we have different class levels, like the very poor or the very rich. Or I have some friends in America as well that their family or their parents were already successful entrepreneur, but that doesn't take the merit away of somebody to become successful. Because sometimes if you are comfortable because your parents are giving you something or giving you everything, probably you are not going to be successful. So there are people that want to downplay success of people because they come from a privileged family. But I don't believe it. I think so. Either way, you can come from a very rich family and do nothing in your life, or you can come from a very poor family and do a lot of success, and vice versa. But how this play with you in your life when people tell you, look, your family were successful already, so you basically don't have the merit. But I believe probably it can take the same amount of effort somebody that comes from a privileged family or non-privileged family. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, one thing I'll tell you, man, I've never met a person who hates on anybody's success who's more successful than the one he's hating on, right? Nobody's ever told me anything about me that is more successful than I've met. The only people who talk are the ones who are less successful than you. So the people who are more successful, they're busy celebrating success. They don't hate on success. So I've met all kinds of people from all kinds of life, right? And I know a lot of people who are born into a lot of success and they do nothing except waste their time away. I know a lot of people who are born into 100 times more success than me, but they still work more than I work, right? They put in more effort and more hours because they enjoy doing that. And that's just that person, right? So I think that makes a big difference. On my personal individual level, I don't really care what anybody says. It doesn't make any difference to me. The people I work with, they understand the value I bring from the minute they start working with me, right? Or the minute they meet me even. So my value is very tangible. The value I bring when I work with products, from community, credibility, capital, it's tangible value. I don't need to justify that. So people, they don't care. They care about the value. Just as another point, I never took $1 from my parents after 17. So yes, I had success early on, I had support early on, but I didn't have millions of dollars. I was given maybe tens of thousands of dollars in support, and I turned that into tens of millions easily on my own. So, and I didn't take $1 since I was 7 over the last 10 years. Actually, every time they go on a vacation, they're my guests, right? So it's it feels great to be able to do that for my parents, and I'm so happy about it. But end of the day, people who are saying shit, you just ignore them. That's the lesson, right, in life. People who are hating, they don't get anywhere in life. And if their business or if their entertainment, their lifestyle is built on hating on others, that probably speaks a lot about them than the person they're hating on. So for me, I don't really care. And even though people talk, don't matter. There's enough people sending love. So you got to be the one spreading love and be in that mindset.
Amazing. I agree totally with you because, yeah, sometimes we see the haters out there talking about us, but they're probably feeling insecure about themselves because they probably haven't achieved the success, but they probably haven't worked really hard, or they don't know how much struggle or how much energy you have to put into a project to make it successful. So I agree with you. So something that we share, I'm going to talk about this a lot in the podcast, is like we come from developing countries, India, Colombia. What is the difference that you see becoming an entrepreneur or successful in India and in, for example, in US or Europe? Do you think we have it easier or more difficult, or is different?
I think there's definitely a very different upbringing. It makes you more of a family person than that makes a big difference on how you grow. And also, I mean, it teaches you to go through struggles in a lot harder way than you would learn in a developed country already, right? Being born in India, you don't have access to a lot of the things, and you try to gain. And if you are somebody who wants that stuff, you will try to gain access and find ways around it. That builds certain mindset that you wouldn't find in developed countries. Obviously, there are challenges, but that's what I mean, right? I mean, there are bigger challenges, but if you're able to overcome those challenges, it leaves you a better person than you started. So that's what everybody really speaks. That it's the ease of doing business is so much harder in India than doing the ease of doing business in the US. I think same for Colombia, right? So, but I think if in this environment you can do business, you can perform a lot better in those environments because it builds your ability a lot stronger. So there's the upside and the downside. The upside is you build better skills, but the downside is you have to go through harder challenges, and that does take away success from a lot of people who almost give up, right? So because they were not able to get past these challenges. But if you ask me if I would change where I was brought up, because when I was 12, when my family moved to Canada, we
Okay.
got a place there. We were going to become immigrants. We got a permanent residency, but we had to stay there for 5 years. My mother was very religious, so she didn't like the religious vibes. So we went back to India. I could have basically, when I started working was 12, right? Or started doing what I really liked, not really called working. But I could have been in Canada at that age. So we moved back. But I think it would have been very different if I was there. I would not. I would have probably maybe. I still had a pretty open childhood. I was like a modern mindset kind of a school. But if I believe I was in Canada, it would have been a very different life for me. Maybe I would be out there going to sorority parties and frat parties all day. So, I would not be at home building on my computer. So, end of the day, I think that makes a big difference. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. So thank you so much for the answer. And for everybody that's joining just the Binance Live, also we're on Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. We're talking to my good friend Evan Luthra, one of the crypto OGs. Let's talk about crypto, right? So crypto has played a big portion of your success for the last 6 years. But I think so you came into crypto because social media as well, right? So let's talk, before talking about crypto, going too much in the future, let's talk about social media, because I think so social media play a big chunk of your success right now. You talk in one of the TEDx in India. I was watching it yesterday. You talk about 11 minutes. By the way, it was very good. But you talk about personal brand. So how important is personal brand for somebody that you getting started? Before it wasn't that big thing, when we go started, we have to build our personal brand without knowing we were building a personal brand. But now we have seen the success of big people, big entrepreneurs that they put a lot of attention in the personal brand. For somebody getting started, what will be the best takeouts that you given as an entrepreneur? How important is to build a personal brand?
So I actually learned about the value of a personal brand just coincidentally, because I never aimed to build a personal brand, but I just walked into it coincidentally. Because after I sold my company, what happened was Google India, the country head of Google India, invited me to give a speech at his event. So this was a time when iPhone apps were quite famous and Android was just starting out, and they were trying to get more developers to build for themselves. And they did a 5-day event in India where they invited like over 50,000 developers in person to come and attend these talks. And the country head of Google India was speaking, and he basically asked me to join a speech for 10 minutes in the middle, and said, he put me on stage and said, hey, explain your story. How did you build these apps? And they were saying, if a 17-year-old can build apps, why can't you build apps? I was 17 at that time, right? And because Google put me on stage and I got so much credibility from Google, this video is still on YouTube, by the way, because I got this, because Google put me on stage and they used me to market their app Android Play Store, it basically blasted me out there, and everybody started following me. My Instagram blew up. So if you can still go back in time and see on my Instagram, I had like school photos, basic photos, and then I just realized, shit, I have all these people watching. I got to post something smart. So I basically changed, and I realized that. And after this, I got invited to speak for TED Talks. I had like dozen invitations to speak at all these events, just from this one, right? So that just basically catapulted me into sort of fame. And then I realized that, hey, this is powerful because now I get more respect, I get more access automatically. And I think, and this was pretty early. I'm talking 2014 time, right? I got invited to do a TV show because I was, after this time I already sold my company. I was not really working per se. I was mostly just chilling, investing here and there. I had a pretty glamorous lifestyle, posting hundreds of private jets, yachts, and like I got invited to the Rich Kids of Instagram TV show. So I did that show. That led on to getting more followers. And what every as it grew bigger and bigger, even till today. Like it took me over 5 years to grow the first million followers, and less than 2 years to grow the next million. I think I'll get another million this year without a doubt. So I think you realize that like over time it adds value and it grows on itself. It's a machine that grows by itself. It does take away some privacy, so you have the downsides. But overall, for somebody like me, I'm a pretty outgoing person. It works out. It has value, and I think the importance grows more and more as we move into this world where we are living in the metaverse, basically. So the bigger presence you have, the bigger value you can provide to compete projects, the bigger they want to get you in, and the bigger, like, it's a win-win from every place I see. So I think and sooner or later, what's going to happen is our digital life is going to matter more to us than our physical life. And in that case, who you are on Instagram matters more to you than who you are in real life. So I think it's going to have much more importance in the future.
Amazing, Evan. And I want to give this advice to everybody that just getting started, because most obviously everybody in buying online, they have to be over 18, they have to do the KYC and all of that. But I just want that you take notes here, guys, because look, Evan started when he was 13, he started to do his tech talks and his speech, being a speaker when he was very young, nearly 10 years ago. And now he started to do his community building and his social media for the last 6-7 years. So when you see Evan traveling the world, being in jets, being in yachts, being as a speaker, it's not because he just started last year. He started many years ago, guys. So if you are just getting started, don't feel discouraged seeing the guys that have millions of followers, and because you think probably this was easy for them. It wasn't easy for them. But if you start today, like Evan said, the best way to predict the future is building it today. So I encourage all of you to start to build your community and start to teach what you already learned. For example, Evan, this is for somebody that's in crypto and just getting started. It's so difficult at the beginning understand about trading, about all these protocols, all these changes. It's so hard. But if you just start with the basic stuff, like what is blockchain, how to buy crypto in your country, how to download a wallet, and you explain that to somebody else that doesn't know anything, that's how you start to build a community. So just to empower all the young people that are here in Binance Life to start from today. So Evan, we talk about haters now. I'm not going to talk about haters again. Let's talk about all the recognition and all your support, because I was looking through your Instagram. You received an award for the 2018 Investor of the Year in the London and Westminster Hall. Also, you got the Blockchain Entrepreneur of the Year award at the CryptoCon in Mumbai, India. And you got recently I saw you on your Instagram, you was honored to be selected as the Asia One Global Youth Icon of the Year 2022. So yeah, you have haters, but you have more supporters than haters. Let's talk about all this outside of your life right now, that you've been recognized. I've seen your picture with Vin Diesel, with a bunch of celebrities. But how do you feel right now, like you being at work for the last 4, 5, 6 years with so many at work? How do you feel about it?
I mean, for me, it's like, it's been so long that I've been winning these awards. It doesn't really matter too much, man. I mean, there's like a lot. I've been in so many. It's like hundreds. Like I've been on all the top 40 under 40 lists, Forbes 30 under 30, Forbes Tech Council, Entrepreneur top 10 people to follow, and Business Insider top NFT experts. It's like, and these are all recent. I'm talking in the last few months. Like I've been winning awards since 2016, really. Like I've been placing, even before when I was pretty young. I mean, I have on my third floor a childhood room where, like, even since I was in high school, middle school, I was winning a lot of awards. Like I told you, I was president of my school, and that was basically based on voting. So all the community decided to make me president, not the teachers itself. So, it's like, I had this, I was always somebody who was liked well by the public, and most of the time. So it was like, they have been voting me pretty well. I mean, maybe show you a few quickly. In this one here, this room here has like some of them for display. So there's like a long list of awards, youth icon, my TED talk. This is my 5th TED talk, blockchain, etc. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of awards that I've been winning for a while. The office is not it's not that. There's some private documents. Although I could take you in there too, but yeah.
Hey, by the way, look very beautiful, the office out there. It's very nice, Evan. Very nice. So yeah, amazing. So okay, let's talk now. Let's get into detail because we are in Binance Live. We're talking about crypto. Let's talk about Web3. So what difference do you notice after being 7 years of evaluating projects in crypto and Web3? What is different from today that 7 years ago?
So I mean, for me, it's like changed a lot. So I did over 100 equity investments, right, in startups, and I have investments in all kinds of stuff. I used to over a dozen coffee shops. I have a cannabis company, like I told you. I have vodka company. I have transport companies. I have rental companies to rent yachts and stuff. So I did everything I was interested in. I would try to do a business around it, right? I was always seeing how I can grow and maximize this value. Like simple as opening a vodka company. I was drinking vodka and I was like, hey, how much does this bottle really cost? I'm making $500 a night, 3 times a week, spending $1 million a year. So it was like, it costs $2 to make a bottle of Grey Goose. I was like, I should be selling this. So it's like one thing led to another. I would invest in whatever I had interest in. So, but now with the Web3 space, it's very different because what happens, I have equity in over 100 companies and many of them over 100x, and it's worth a lot of money. I've realized a lot of capital, but it's still locked. Most of that is not liquid because you don't get the payout until the company goes public. And I invested at the seed round where the companies really start, right? Even Ease, which I invested in 2014, is still on Series C. There is over 100 million. They're worth over $500 million. I invested a $5 million valuation, but I can't go and sell my shares. I could. It's a lot of effort, but normally you don't, right? So basically, in Web3 space, you can invest in a token. It lists a few months after you invest, or a year or two, and you get instant liquidity. And that's really exciting. And I think like that is a very massive difference between investing in Web 2 versus Web 3. But the main differentiator is Web 3 is tokenization that allows you to also make the customer a part owner and a part manager, right? Okay, what do you need for a business to be really successful? There's 3 stakeholders involved in a business. Is the user of the business, is the manager of the business, and the owner of the business. What does the business need to be successful? Right now, the owner wants to make the most money. The user wants the cheapest product and the best product. The manager wants to keep everybody happy. But the incentives are not aligned. They all want different things. So what does doing a token into the system bring? When you bring a token, you basically align the incentive. You make the user a part owner and a part manager. Let me explain how this works. So let's say right now, somebody in the audience asks, what's the best car to buy? I'll say buy a Lamborghini. I don't really drive for 8 years, but Rolls Royce or whatever. Andres, I don't know what you would say. Maybe you would say buy a Bugatti or something, right? So, but let's say Honda and Toyota come out with their token, and you buy Honda tokens, I buy Toyota tokens, and we get a part of the profit of whatever Hondas or Toyota sell. Next time somebody asks, you would say buy a Honda. I would say buy a Toyota because I'm a part owner. I will make money when that person goes and buys the car. So I'm not going to sell any more a Rolls Royce or a Lamborghini. I'm going to say buy a Toyota because I'm a part owner. And let's say then Toyota comes out with a governance token and says you can use your tokens to vote. We made $10 billion this year. Should we invest in making a new yacht? Should we invest in making a new plane? I'm like, already flew thousands of flights. I want to do more yachts. Invest in a new yacht. Let's say Honda asks you, should we invest in making a new bicycle? Should we invest in making a new, a bike? You say invest in a hand bicycle. So it makes the user a part manager. So when you align these incentives, that's when you see exponential growth. And that's only possible with what Web3 is doing. That was not possible in Web 2. You were not able to align all the incentives. And then that's a really, really great way to see. And now with the metaverses, NFTs, it's growing even more. I mean, the impact becomes even more.
Wow. Okay, so You just mentioned something that the audience has been expecting because you dive very deep into NFT, play to earn, metaverse. So let's talk about your NFTs. How many? Because I saw your collection. We were in Monaco and in the Grand Prix. But how many NFTs you have?
I have over 1,000 NFTs today, so I've spent over $5 million buying different NFTs, and I have over 1,000. Let me show you some of my top ones.
It's
Actually,
crazy, man.
here. So this is Doodles. This is
I
one of
love
the
that
top
one.
collections out there. That's my Doodle. I have a few. It keeps changing every few minutes. This is from Korea. I went to Korea Blockchain Week a couple months ago, and I met the founder of this project there, Zipki Norma. It's the most famous Korean project. Picked up a few of them. This is obviously the infamous Bored Ape. Everybody knows about that. That's not my main ape. This is my main ape. This is my Web3 identity. But this is also a pretty good one. Everybody knows about. I don't need to tell you about this one. That's the most famous project, the CryptoPunks. Everybody knows about that one. Oldest profile picture collection. That's my CryptoPunk. I have a few more that keep changing. And then this is Mutant Apes. This is actually the M2 of this exact ape. So when I muted this was the ape I got. This is like actually one of the biggest communities out there because the Bored Ape is not accessible to everybody. This is still the way to become a part of the club. This is DGods, the most top project on Solana right now. This is actually a DGod that you can give them a serum and they become a dead god. I have the same ones also. Pretty exciting. That's another ape of mine. These are CloneXs, also pretty cool. The Nike bought this company out. I don't know, it was undisclosed, but tens of millions of dollars. And that was a pretty smart move. I think people will remember it in the future when they see Nike basically acquired a native Web3 digital company and now made hundreds of millions of dollars thanks to NFTs already. These are some of my top collections. I mean, I have a lot more.
That's amazing. I'm feeling like MTV Cribs, like many years ago. I'm feeling like episode MTV Cribs, man.
This is Casa NFT. So this is Casa NFT. I have a Casa NFT here. I have a Casa NFT in Tulum. Like all the sunbeds on the beach, everything is NFT. The bed sheets, everything is all NFT. I mean, this is the way to get utility. I'm down like a couple million on the apes.
That's
just
amazing.
on the apes. So I think this is still the future, though. So that's why I'm holding long term.
Evan, and look, you have selected very good projects. You invest $5 million in NFTs. So for somebody that's watching, that's new into NFTs, that probably doesn't have enough resources or capital, how you get all this information from first hand, what to buy? Obviously, what I can see, like probably you invest in a lot of projects. Some were successful, some were not successful. But how somebody can start in NFT today and say, okay, I'm going to buy this one or that one?
So, I mean, I have always been an art collector all my life. I've been to 70 countries now and I travel a lot. And every time I used to collect art. So I've been the person who also appreciates the art and collects for that reason too. But end of the day, I think it comes down to really being active in the community, right? You need to be active and you need to be a DGen, right? You need to be active in the channels all day, finding out alpha, getting access to see who's really coming up, who's really building the best community, who's building the most virality around their project, etc. So I think that's the most important. For example, I just bought Goblin Town. The art is really bad. I was in Singapore Formula One just last week. So I met this guy there, and he said he had 100 apes at one time, and he flipped 3 ETH to over 2,500 ETH, right? And he started with 3. So, I mean, you don't need a lot of money, man. What he did was he really understood the play well. He was in all the chat rooms, and he really put effort in adding value to the communities. So he would go into all the discourse and add value. And, money and success is a byproduct of creating value for others. So he added value for a lot of people. They had questions they would answer. And anytime anybody came across something, they would send it to him. So he basically built this engine that he was getting access to information all day from people that he helped. So this allowed him to get access to information. This allowed him to make the right trades and collect this massive portfolio. And he gave me the tip, buy Goblin's Town. So I bought some of them, And for me, it's the same. For me, the number one factor when I invest in something, who gave me that tip? Who is that individual, right? Has that individual done something amazing? Has he made me money in the past? If somebody makes me money, next time they send me something, I don't ask twice. I just invest, right? And it's like that's the number one thing. Crypto is all about peer-to-peer trust. That's how this industry literally works. So if you need to build your peer network that brings you that alpha, that brings that knowledge, or that brings you that A game that allows you to really grow. And how you do that? You do that by adding value for others. You go into the communities. You don't need to go and travel to a different part of the world. You can open up your computer, join a Discord, join the free members group, get into add value, become a moderator, collect some NFTs, trade into more NFTs, find ways to add value. Somebody makes me $1 million, I'll give them 900,000 back because they wouldn't have made me the 100K anyways. So it's like, that's the way I look at business. And I think that is very how the community industry, NFT community industry also works quite a bit.
Amazing. Do you know, actually, you mentioned something really important that Cisse was saying yesterday on his Twitter. He said it's not how much money, how much crypto you have, is how many people have you helped, and that's based in community building, right? So, and you mentioned something really important as well, that you don't have to have travel the world, all of that, to start to create a community. I've seen so many people from India, Pakistan, Colombia, Venezuela, they build massive community from agave. So let's talk about this, because this is very important as well, about the play to earn. So last year we have Axie Infinity, we have all these video games that help so many people in our countries, to pay for bills. So let's talk about this. How you perceive that last year, and where do you think, like, from for somebody that is watching this right now and want to get involved to play to earn, where they need to put the energy the next 3 months and the next year, because they're making a lot of money for people that really need it?
So, I mean, it really depends what I think first thing you should always look at is what adds the most passion to you, right? Which is something that you're most passionate about. And if that is play to earn, go for that. There is teach to earn, find your niche there. It's like there's a lot of different ways. And the thing is, find your passion and focus towards growing on that. Once you find that, that's the best way to grow. End of the day, like, play to earn, I think is a massive potential. It's going to drive the next. That was what was the reason for the last bull run. I wrote multiple articles about this in Cointelegraph, where I speak about investing in over 100 play to earn games and seeing that this is going to drive the next bull run, which was what happened. But I think we're still very early. Games take a lot of time to develop. Good quality games take even longer, many, many years, right? So I think we're going to still see these games come in that's going to attract the users, but it has to be fun. And what we were missing right now in the last bull run was these games were not as fun to play. So I think as anybody really, if you're a normal person to get involved, focus on building community and adding value to people. Like you said, Andres, right? Get people to download MetaMask and sign up on MetaMask and know how to use a wallet, right? Get people to learn how to on-ramp and off-ramp. How can they sell Bitcoin and how can they buy Bitcoin? Get people to learn these basic skills. And I think that itself is a major boon. And then when these people want to expand, they think of you. And when some of them actually buys a bunch of Bitcoin and suddenly realize a few years later, holy shit, this is amazing, he's going to think of you and thank you all his life. Because you changed his life. You literally changed that person's life. And I think that's the key here. So you should always think from that angle where how can you add value to others while doing what you love best? And if that's community building or actually being a developer, crypto people are pretty open. They're very open to communities and collaborative working. That's the one thing I love about this industry and why I'm so bullish on this space is the smartest people in the world and they're working together. It's about collaborativeness. It's not about competitiveness. People I don't want to win from you if we both can win, right? They find the win-win-win situations. And that's the best thing about this industry, at least what I like. And it's the smartest people. So you can never discount the smart work of the hard work of the smartest people.
Amazing. Evan, we're nearly wrapping this up, but obviously I have so many questions for you prepared. I don't most of them, but I want just to improvise a little bit and say a couple of things from the bottom of my heart, because I met you a couple of months ago. I've been following your lead for many years. And this is for all the community watching this vinyl live right now. So there's different things about Evan that you probably cannot perceive on social media, So one thing is the personal brand, the lavish life, because that's part of the marketing strategy as well. And to encourage people to pursue their passion, to live the life as free. But one thing that I admire about Evan is that he's committed to help everybody. So Evan, when I met you I met you in Paris, then we went to Monaco. When you sit down with Evan and you notice how smart he is, how committed he is to success, but also how hard work he is. He's not only partying all the time, but he loves the party. We have parties. We have very good parties together. But also he's on the phone, making phone calls, doing introductions, even from the small details. You are the few guys in the space that you have introduced me to different projects. Not many people do this. You are really. I remember we were also in Monaco, and you were explaining to a couple of our friends that didn't know anything about crypto what was NFT. and with expecting nothing in return. So that's what made you so different. So if one day you come across with Evan, go and say hello to him, because I'm sure with 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of his time, you will give this massive value and all this energy. So Evan, I'm very proud to be your friend and to work with you, and also to be here in the Binance Live. And this is something talking about NFTs, just to wrap it up. We're preparing an NFT for you. So my friend Andre Canayet, he's developing this crypto art using artificial intelligence. And everybody that comes into Crypto OGs, you will receive your NFTs in Binance NFTs. And when we reach 50 episodes, I will create an event or a party, I don't know, maybe in Tulum or maybe in Miami.
Welcome at Casa NFT.
We'll bring all the crypto OGs and we will do an auction of all these NFTs for a charity purpose. Okay, so I know your favorite animal is the lion, so they're creating the NFT for you in this moment, and I will post it this weekend on Twitter, your NFTs and how we look. And why the lion? Why do you like the lion?
So, I mean, lion is my spirit animal, right? And that's what I feel the most about, that I feel most related to. But my favorite animal is actually crypto. I'll make you meet him.
Yeah. Crypto for crypto.
That's my favorite animal right here. It's crypto.
How old is crypto?
This guy's just 1 year old right now. I just bought him. He's my favorite animal in the world. Crypto, say hi. He has an Instagram page, Crypto for Crypto, where he goes around teaching people about crypto knowledge.
Amazing. Yeah. So that's
instead of following me, you guys should follow crypto.
How they found you on social media and how they find crypto? What is your username?
So my username is Evan Luthra on Instagram and Twitter, and crypto is Crypto for Crypto. He just has Instagram, so that's it. But he posts a lot more than me, and he posts actually value stuff, how to learn more about crypto and talk about crypto. So yeah,
that's awesome. I hope to make crypto one day, Evan.
He's yawning. Yes, 100%, man. I want you to meet him. He's one of my best friends. Actually, my best friend.
Evan, so I hope to see you soon, my friend. Thank you so much for all the value that you bring. Go and please follow my good friend. Where is it? There, Evan Luthra.
And follow
my friend Evan Luthra on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, all the social media platforms. And remember, go and follow what he said. The best way to predict the future is building right now. Go and achieve your dreams, work hard, play hard as well, of course.
Perfect, man. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.